my reasons why Tyron Smith is now the best right tackle in the NFL. I'm going to give you guys 5 reasons why Tyron Smith is now the best right tackle in the game. And this is going into game week where we play against Philadelphia. And I know we got a lot of Philadelphia homers out here the last couple of days that's been having a lot to say about this Dallas Cowboys football team. Well, this is one topic in particular that I'm going to tackle, and I'm going to give you guys the lay of the land and why Tyron Smith is the best right tackle now in the NFL. And before I get into it, I'll tell you that if he went to left tackle, he would definitely be a top 3 or 4 left tackle. And this is not him playing all year long, guys. All right, we are now down to the last 3 regular season games, and Tyron Smith has come in versus the Jaguars, and he played the right tackle position. A couple nuances that, of course, he could definitely improve upon, but for a first game out, he was absolutely tremendous. Number 1 is experience. There's not a guy with his athletic ability, his strength, and even his lateral movement, even at this point in his career, that has more experience than a Tyron Smith. So he has game experience over game experience over game experience. That's number 1. And if you're comparing him to Lane Johnson, very, very good right tackle that plays for the Philadelphia Eagles, he edges him out on game experience. Number 2, quickness in terms of feet and leverage. So if you look at the play of Tyron Smith, he's a guy that can control you with a variety of hand placements and moves. Now, versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, you saw him versus Smoot, number 91, control him with 2-hand punches, hitting him in the chest, pulling him down with his right hand, pushing off with the left hand. So he's a master at set variation. And these are details that people really don't realize about Tyron Smith. You just look at the fact that he's tall, he's long, but this guy has a lot of tools in his bag, and his ability to manipulate his hands, to control you with his inside hand, to control you with his outside hand, to set for width, which means he's setting wide because you're lined up outside of him, right? And to close the distance, or to set vertically back, or to just jump on top of you, right? Which I call a jump set. Those are some things that really set him apart and makes him a better right tackle than Lane Johnson. Just bottom line. Number 3, his credentials. His credentials are through the roof. He's an 8-time Pro Bowler versus Lane Johnson, who's a 3-time Pro Bowler. Tyron Johnson is on the all-decade team, which means that over the last 10 years that he will be considered a guy that's one of the elite guys that's ever played the position in the NFL. Lane Johnson, unfortunately, doesn't really have that honor. Tyron Johnson has been first team NFL, several times at this point in his career. And, at the end of the day, the credentials, the voting, not just on his performance by his own accord or his own opinion, but by his peers, makes it very, very credible that everybody else in the league sees what we think about Tyron Smith, and that he's a great tackle and a right tackle, which will be, I think, once he got past this warm-up game, going down the stretch, barring that he stays healthy and into the playoffs, he's going to be a shutdown, a lockdown right tackle. And then, also going to number 4 is strength. His strength. He's extremely strong. He's a guy that once he gets his hands on you, it is no getting off. He showed that in the run game by really angling his body, swinging his hips, cutting people off, and also the ability to get push and drive off of the football, the ability to have a variety of run blocks and use a variety of angles versus people. There's nobody better in terms of a total package and being a tackle in the game, especially right tackle, than a Tyron Smith would be. And number 5, man, his overall game is just top notch. Some guys are good at pass blocking, some guys are good at run blocking, and no shade against Lane Johnson. He's a really good tackle, but he's not on the level and the experience level, the athleticism, the IQ, and the overall grade that a Tyron Smith would be. He actually graded out last year at over 91%, which is great. I think Lane Johnson was around 87%, or he's around that area this year in terms of a total grade as a tackle. And so when you talk about being one of the best in the business and probably being one of the best all time, and you probably could argue that when Tyron Smith retires and he's still playing when he's healthy at an extremely high level, you can argue that he's might be a top 10 tackle. Yeah, he might be a top 10 tackle that ever played. You got guys that are in the current era, let's say of the 90s, right, that we would probably know of. You got guys like Orlando Pace. You got guys like Walter Jones. You got guys like Williams that plays for San Francisco. I would probably give him probably the nod as probably the top tackle for several reasons I won't cover in this video. You got a lot of guys, man, that have played the game at a high level. You got Joe Thomas. You got guys that recently retired that play at a very, very high level. But I'm gonna tell you, Tyron Smith is the new best right tackle in the NFL, and he's one of the best to ever do it. So if you like content like this, please follow Boss Cowboy Sports. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button if you hadn't already. Follow Boss Cowboy Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can follow me, the OC100, on Twitter. And until next time, see you.